We're back again. Sorry about that. Had some stuff I needed to take care of. I prefer to be offline when I do it. You can never be too certain with technology, but again, this is a pretty low-key stream. I won't be doing any informational videos or anything like that, just because I feel like they require too much time, and they tend to get you into the mindset of looking for engagement and stuff, which can be pretty depressing. So basically, I'm just going to be playing the game. Of course, this is a work in progress. That needs to be said. Creoteam is actually working on this as we speak. They have a few guys in the beta testing team that are helping them out with feedback and looking for bugs and whatnot behind the scenes. And we have been given the go-ahead to start sharing things. So I figured again the stream format's pretty good. I think it gets saved on YouTube. I'm not really paying attention to the recordings or anything like that. Again, the whole recording aspect of content creation isn't something I really like or care about. I do prefer to do this as a hobby because it is something I do in my free time. But yeah, we'll be playing the game really just as I play through, maybe for about an hour or so. If anybody stops by and has questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability. I've been playing Football Tactics and Glory for, it's been a long time, like 6, 7 years at this point. Saying I'm pretty knowledgeable about it. And of course I'm playing this one as well. And I'm just trying different things. I've never been big on optimizing the fun out of games. I understand all the tactics and stuff, but I also like trying different things. Just to kind of give the developer a different perspective, just so we can get as much stuff in as possible. So right now I'm actually using Scotland because I'm testing out their culture, their what do you call it? Their footballing culture, which is a specific bonus a country they're going to get in this game. The weaker countries will have more esoteric bonuses. The stronger countries will have things that are more straightforward. Scotland has an interesting bonus at the moment. I'm also trying to make a case for keeping it. Again, at the work in progress, Creoteam does have their own internal testing, which is also always really good. It's always a problem when a dev doesn't test their own game and do that stuff themselves. So we're kind of going back and forth on a lot of different things. And I think Scotland might be on the chopping block, but I'm actually working on making a case for them. By default, I think the biggest problem with their bonus is the fact that they need to maintain possession. Once you understand how possession works in this game, it's not the end of the world, but it doesn't kick in until that happens. But once that happens, they get a pretty big bonus to passing. 150% is probably the largest bonus in the game for anything. And if you're familiar with some passing in this game, once you hit, it basically works on thresholds, So this is allowing them to skip like 2 or 3 different thresholds all at once just for holding the ball. A pretty solid bonus. I like it a lot. I'm also trying to take advantage of it here. So we're in the 3rd league. Again, it's not very far. I think a few of us are actually going straight to the top, like starting in the Premier League just so we can test the national team aspect of the game. I haven't done it yet. I normally start from the bottom just to kind of get the full experience. And then usually hit the 1st league or something and then a new update comes out. And then I'll probably restart from there. Let's see. At this point I'm just going to play. It's not going to be a non-stop talking. I pretty much struggle to do that without some type of back and forth, So it's just going to be me playing at this point. I think one option that we have that's probably going to make it into the end of the game, into the final version of the game, is the ability to hide formations. This is something I've wanted for a really long time. If you play hot seat mode, or at least if you check hot seat mode, because this isn't a big multiplayer game, you'll see that when one player is looking at their formation, they can't see the opponent's. So there's no cheating to counter your opponent's formation like you'd normally do. But if you play the base game, if you play the campaign against the AI, a big part of this game is just countering what they can do on the strategic level. So now you have the option to just hide that. You'll get the information on the right-hand side. You'll kind of have an understanding of what they could be playing. and then you kind of set up accordingly. There's certain things that are still pretty easy to figure out. For example, if they have two center midfielders, then obviously they're going to be in this area. If they have three forwards, then I don't need to worry about wing forwards or anything. You know, if they have a fullback, he's going to be somewhere over here. So it's still possible to plan, but you can't just immediately just counter everything. Like, you know, I don't know where their CD is, so I don't know where I'd put like a player focused on crossing the ball into the box or something. I think I'm just gonna play it like this. I'm still in the team building phase, you know, third league, it's still early. The usual thing. I think I'm also doing normal mode just to kind of push things forward a little more quickly. Of course, once the match starts, you can actually see everything. So, you know, you can actually see what the opponent's feeling at this point. And, you know, this is the formation that they have. And then I can kind of, then I have to kind of adapt to the situation. When the ball goes out of play, I can modify my formation a little bit. But I'm kind of stuck in this formation until something happens. For example, the CD's on the right-hand side, which is going to make it difficult for him to break in fully. So, you know, I can't really counter that or anything. There is another option that prevents you from changing your formation at all, like until halftime. I didn't like it. I feel like it was too restrictive. So basically I would have all of this, but the guys are just locked in the place, so I can't move him over here or anything. I can only move them. I can only swap them with other players' positions. And it's there if you feel like you need it, I guess. I'm just glad that we have the option to disable it, because I really didn't like it. Yeah, we're going to play the match out. Again, team building. As for what I'm doing here, it's really just standard stuff. I'm doing a 3 formation at the back. I'm trying to be more aggressive just because being defensive is something that's worked for so long. Generally, you'll have like 4 or 5 defenders at the back at any given time. I'm playing a more flexible formation. Where I'll have 3 at the back. I have a DF in the middle, just so I have someone who can actually move back and block shots. You know, I don't use sweepers anymore. I used to use sweepers a long time ago, like back in the early days, like maybe 2018, 2019, I was still using sweepers. And then I realized that they're actually they have a huge flaw that's really easy to exploit, so I just stopped using them. Generally, I'll do like a DF or maybe a double DF for that additional blocking. But 1 DF tends to be enough. And then if I need something like if I need to challenge a skill, I'll have like a fullback back here. I'm going to have wingers who are also fullbacks, essentially. That's the idea. We're going to go ahead and break in. Again, it's early game. You know, that's not too nothing too crazy. I can try to break in. I could also take the shot. In this situation, it's better to just break in because they have a lot of Ds and DFs. 10 versus 19 isn't great, but it's a bad roll for them. You know, anytime they fail, there's a risk of a penalty. Penalties are a big deal in this game. I also have the audio off just because I've been told that, you know, I speak kind of quietly. You know, I'm not going to be like animated or anything. At the end of the day, I'm in my office. Talking to a microphone, so I'm not going to be like crazy animated or anything like that. I don't do it essentially, you know, just to kind of have the audio not competing with my volume essentially. I'm just going to keep it off, and also have the volume turned down a bit on my microphone as well. Again, I can understand why streamers do it. Ultimately, this is entertainment, but I'm really not on that. I'm really not worried about that. I feel like you stream for the sake of knowledge transfer, you know? The engagement should be what you have to offer in terms of what you're actually doing, as opposed to how wacky you are or whatever. Let's see. And I'm not going to talk about everything. It's just going to be things that I think are out of the ordinary. Ooh, that's actually solid. I don't think it's going to matter because I don't think he's going to keep position. Yeah. I have a few options here, though. He is a forward. A single forward. I could try to hold the ball, and then I would have, what? 31. The question becomes, is that worth it? Probably, because I can get the ball into the box if I do that. He's also a universal forward, so it's going to be... Let me try to do the math in my head here. I think holding the ball is 20. It's also great that we have the Footballopedia. Like, Creoteam did an immense amount of work on this. It's so important to have something like this in the game because there are so many different parts of the game. The people who are knowledgeable, there aren't many of us. A lot of us have moved on. When you think about guys like the Hoplites and the who else? And the Com Rios and stuff, a lot of us have moved on. We have lives. And then even if we haven't moved on, teaching people how the game works is a huge effort. So it really helps to have something like this where instead of trying to figure out how the game works and then you give up because it's not explained anywhere, you can go in here and kind of take a look at different things. And they have all this stuff like linked together and whatnot. So if it talks about precision shots in one place, it talks about power shots in another, it links to that, it can go back. It's a really flexible system. And I know for a fact that it took them a lot of work because I was basically there when they were doing it. So but again, it's pretty important. It's one of those things where most players won't really appreciate how much work has gone into it. I've helped out with other games where they've had no useful tutorial or what do you call it, system of teaching information. And then it just relies on like the community, and then the game doesn't really have a community, so people just don't learn how things work. And that alone can just kill the game's growth. That's really, really useful to have something like this. Yeah, but again, I'm gonna ramble as well because this is my personal time. This isn't content. I'm just gonna say it up front. It's just me playing the game and sharing it for anyone who might be interested. I don't do scripts. Scripts are work. I have a 9 to 5 job that pays well. I don't need to do more work on the weekend or in my free time, unless it's for my own benefit. Selfish, but we live for ourselves and our families, so. Yeah, but I was looking at hold. It's going to be control, so that's going to give me 37 control, plus I'm going to get 30% of that because it's the universal forward, which is 3/10. Call it 41? 42. I was close. I can still do math. Yeah, so it's in my what do you call this? It's in my favor to hold the ball. Because they don't have a CD over here. Because now I can just do this and get a better shot on goal. Oh, they moved the CD. There's something else about this game. The AI is really intelligent. Like, I feel like where most games fail, single player games fail is on the AI. Especially games like this, which are basically PvP in nature, or competitive focus, where you have one side versus the other. The AI tends to be really awful. Like, I've rarely played a game out of the box where the AI was actually really good. I've played games that have been modded heavily and they've had like AI scripts added and stuff like that, and that's done it. But this is like the first game I've played where the AI is just solid in and of itself. So like they moved the CD forward because they realized they weren't going to win the ball. They tried twice. They realized I could move into the box with him who has more accuracy. So they did that to make it harder to move into the box. So that's really smart. But I can also take advantage of that if I really want to. I don't think I will. I think I'll just take the shot, honestly. That's what I was setting up for. I could have taken advantage of that by moving into the box and forcing him to tackle me, and then possibly give me a penalty, but he could also win the ball. I'm just going to take the shot. He's motivated. Since he's a forward, he gets to take the shot again. Again, that's information you can see. Can still act after an unsuccessful goal attempt. Again, the amount of information they have in this game is crazy. Like, they have everything you could possibly want. So if you wonder what rain does to you, you can press a button and it comes up. If you wonder what motivation does, you can see the calculations. If you wonder how the classes work, you can see all of that stuff too. If you want to know how skills and abilities work, you'll see it come up as well. It's crazy. Most games do not do this. I've been playing games for like 30-something years now. The time I can remember playing games has been like maybe 25 years or so ago. Maybe like 8, 9, 10, when I really started looking at games outside of just a diversion. Most games don't do this. You have to go look up guides or open the manual or something. It's a crazy amount of information. Like for a little game that most people don't know about, this does way more than most games will ever do. I feel like most games need to learn from this, especially if you have a complex game. You know, if it's a game that most people aren't going to understand for any reason, you need to do stuff like this. You know, you can't rely on your community to tell people about it because a lot of the time you won't even have the community, honestly. Yeah, you can't rely on the community to teach people about the game. What was it? I used to support another game. I'm not going to name any names because it is what it is. But we did a whole lot of work to like create help guides and stuff for the community, and it never really got used, partially because it was never advertised properly. The game had a lot of advertising problems in general, but ultimately the game didn't really tell you anything about how things work, and it came down to us needing to like create content and create tutorial videos and stuff. Yeah, but I think most games, most developers need to take it on themselves to do the work and teach players how to play the game. That way you don't need to worry about whether or not that someone's gonna tell them how to do it, you know? Yeah, but this game tells you pretty much everything. I haven't found anything that it just doesn't teach you outright, which is huge. Ooh, that's a bad play. Do they have a they do. They have a forward. Well, I can do that. That's gonna make it harder. He might shoot. Or he's gonna pass. He's gonna pass again. Yeah, that's tough. They might score here. We'll see. Yeah, you have good accuracy. Yeah, but most games do not do that. The only other game I've seen do that on this level is what is it? Crusader Kings 3. And maybe Civilization 6? Civilization 6 has a really good system too. Where what does it do? It also it's dynamic. The way it works is dynamic. So I play with a lot of mods. I've been playing Civ 6 since like 2016. Really good game. I enjoy it a lot. I've also modded it to high heaven. And the way it integrates all of the mod details in its Civipedia is really interesting. So I'll have like modified Civ abilities, and I'll have like modified resources and stuff like that. Custom resources, and all that information will be in the Civipedia, almost like it's a base game thing. And then Crusader Kings, of course, has a really good system of presenting information, given how complex that game is. And then what other game has done this? It's tough to say. I know Civ 5 didn't do that. Civ 6 definitely did. Yeah, but those are big AAA games, and those are big grand strategy games. So to have a game like this also work on that level is crazy. Because you have to remember, it's a small studio. It's like a handful of guys who used to be developers, so they weren't just like chasing some stupid dream to make it big or something with no what do you call it? With no experience. They had actually been in the industry on some level, and they had an idea for a game, and they pushed it and they polished it and they worked on it, and they iterated on it. The football tactics and glory that we have today isn't like the one that we got back in early access. They've constantly worked on it and constantly improved it. They've taken feedback, they've handled feedback effectively. Sometimes they accept it, sometimes they don't. They've always had a plan. Now they're making a second game. Remember, this is like a small studio of maybe 5, 6 guys. And this is an incredibly niche game. It's a turn-based sports game. This is the only turn-based sports game I know of. Maybe Blood Bowl, but that's a board game. That's a digitized version of a board game. So Blood Bowl doesn't even count. Completely unique turn-based sports game, first of its kind. And they've done a really good job with it. Obviously, it's not making big bucks or anything. And then they have stuff like this. They continue to kind of push it. They're not resting on their laurels. They're not just pushing something out there to say they did it. They're constantly improving on it. And then again, they're doing stuff that other games aren't doing, regardless of the genre or the level of the game. That's really cool to see. I'm also not even going to mention the obvious stuff that they're still working on this stuff on this game, even though they're in Ukraine. If you want to hear a funny story, I remember when the attack started, when all that craziness started back in, what was it, 2021? It feels like it's been forever now, but way back when, like a month after that, you had the head of the studio releasing an update for one of the games. I think it was the old game at that point. That, you have the head of the studio still working on it. These guys are still in Kiev working on this thing with all the other stuff going on. They have families and everything else. So, it's pretty cool stuff to see. I've followed a lot of indie games over time. Like it's been what, like 15 years at this point of various indie games of varying levels of success. And this is probably one of the few ones where it feels like they have their shit together, like everything together. They understand the reality of their situation, they understand their audience, they understand whether or not they take everything in stride. They can successfully merge the business aspect of it and the passion aspect of it. Obviously they're not making a ton of money, but they keep the lights on. These guys have a studio. The head of the studio pays these guys a salary. So yeah. It's cool to see, when indie games are actually handled intelligently, they can really do well. But most indie devs just don't have the experience to handle it. They're normally devs that they're normally like gamers initially, and then they treat it like a gamer would. It's like, if I could make a game, I would do this, but they don't realize all the other stuff that goes into it from a business perspective, from understanding the market, the audience, all that different stuff. It's a lot of stuff. Like I've never made a game, and there's a reason why I'll never try, because it's a waste of time, personally. I'll play them to death, and I'll support indie devs and whatnot where I think it's warranted, but it's not really an industry to jump into without some type of real plan. So it's cool to see guys like this every now and then. And then, of course, you have like the standout guys, the obvious guys like Supergiant, like Clay, and then you have like the guys who seem to hit lightning in the bottle. Balatro just came out the other month or so. It sold like 1 million copies across all platforms in a single month. Which is crazy, but then when you play the game, you understand it's really good. It's an idea that most people wouldn't have thought about. It's really well executed. All that stuff is always nice to see. Again, there's going to be rambling. I'm just doing this in my free time. It's not scripted or anything. Don't have time for that. And I'll talk about different things as it takes me. As the mood, what's the word? As the mood takes me, essentially. Yeah, but this game, it's done a lot. In terms of the new game, I'm excited for a lot of different things. I do like the idea of the national tournament. It's also nice that they're giving you things outside of the national tournaments. So like if you never make it to that stage, you still get to play with all the toys. For me personally, I've never actually made it to the national tournament stage. I've just been constantly testing like the early to mid game. And I'm still getting to use a lot of these different things. Eventually we'll get to the national stage. It's more of a late game upgrade. And you'll have a lot of cool things you can do. In terms of this match, it's going to take a lot longer because, again, a lot of talking. It's streaming. I've kind of accepted that when I stream, I'm going to slow down a lot. It just is what it is, honestly. Right now, I'm just trying to set up a better play here. See if I can do that. He does have 48. Also, for this game, you have to realize when certain actions aren't worth it. So, for example, I could try to shoot it. I'm probably not going to get it through. I should probably do something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to take advantage of Scotland's bonus, which is going to be a little difficult because of this guy here. But if I somehow do keep the ball, he's going to make it really hard. He's also motivated. Okay, I kept the ball. There's another really cool thing about this bonus. When you maintain possession of the ball, see if I remember how this works. Here it is. When you maintain possession of the ball and you get fouled, you keep the bonus into the free kick situation. I am going to I'm not sure if I'm going to pass this off to cause or not. It might be too long. I might take notes on this as I play as well. Just because again it's testing. It's legitimate beta testing, so I'm passing off bug feedback and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and make notes of this as well. Yeah, but in terms of this game, it's taken a lot longer because again, it's a lot of talking about various things. That's usually how it is if you're trying to engage. You're gonna slow down. Yeah, but if he had one of the cool things about Scotland, right? Sorry, I'm all over the place again, rambling. I'm gonna have to apologize for that a lot because it's gonna be hard to follow. I think everybody thinks faster than they speak, but I tend to go through so many thoughts so quickly it's hard to put them into words a lot of the time. But the cool thing about Scotland's ability is the way it interacts with free kicks. If you hold the ball and you get fouled, you take that bonus into the free kick situation. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to keep the ball and then potentially get him into the box and just pass it. It's like what you would do with layoff pass or long pass, only their passing bonus is so huge that you can just do it with any player, any midfielder. So it's almost like you get a free pass into the box essentially. If it's an AM, it's almost guaranteed. It's a pretty crazy ability when you really think outside of the box. Let's see. Let me make a note on this. Forward. The football coach. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot of different things here. Yeah, but you can see one of the really cool things is that they maintain the bonus. There is a bug, again, it's a work in progress, where the forward gets it when it should have been the central midfielder. He would have gotten 150% to his passing. But even then, you can kind of see the impact it has. It's raining, so you get minus 40% to passing. And he also has really bad passing, so he has 7 passing. So by default, he should really have like 2 or 3, I think, if I take a look. Yeah, 4 passing, okay, that's pretty bad. But with the bonus, he suddenly has 15 passing, which is like 2 levels up. Plus it's raining. So suddenly he can cross the ball into the box on a rainy day with bad passing. That's just an example of how crazy this ability is. Because if it's like a normal day and he has like middling passing, he's suddenly a superstar. Ooh, I should have played it differently. It's alright. I could take the shot. I'm going to gamble on something here. I tend to do a very possession-heavy style of play. I'm not a huge fan of the Hail Mary shots, as I like to call them. I'm willing to gamble on the free kicks. Keep possession, get fouled, get free kicks. If you take a look at the information right now, there have been like, 3 fouls or something? 2 fouls, yep. So I'm willing to do it again, just to get a direct free kick on goal, because I don't think this is going to score. It might get to the goalkeeper, but I think he's going to save it. At the same time, if I lose the ball, I kind of gave up my opportunity to score. So it's a bit of a gamble. I have to gamble on the goalkeeper rolling poorly. I don't know. I might just gamble. Yeah. Sometimes you just have to gamble. It's football. Football tends to be a gamble a lot of the time. Unless you're doing something like, what's the word? Unless you're passing the ball directly into the box and shooting on goal. Or maybe like the keeper's off balance or something. In most cases, it's always going to be a gamble. That's how it plays out in the game. You have to take your chances. Just get shots on goal sometime. It's a long match. Again, it's going to take a while. All of these matches are going to take a while, much longer than they normally take. So I can't really use this as like a feedback video or anything. I tend to do direct feedback videos at this point. Those are the only videos I make, honestly. If there's something Cause needs to know, Cause hears about it in a directed format. Like most devs find that useful. I haven't really seen a dev who hasn't found directed feedback useful. I run into like 1 or 2 who don't know how to handle it, but the other ones are generally like, thanks. And then they use it or they don't, and then everything's all right. Yeah, 'cause ultimately, I think most devs understand this is paid work. This is QA testing. This is whatever you call it. I've been in the software development industry for like maybe 14, 15 years at this point. This is essentially QA testing. It's a paid position. You get people to come in and test your program and write up reports and stuff like that. Anyone volunteering for it is going to be a godsend because you also need it to be done. You don't want your thing to go into production and suddenly it breaks, and now you have like hundreds or thousands of users using it, and suddenly you have all these bugs coming in because you didn't test things properly, and it becomes a mess. Now you're crunching to get stuff fixed. If it's a paid product, now you have to deal with that. So generally, QA testing's essential. Most indie devs aren't going to have the budget for it. And, most indie devs are going to have two primary problems. They're going to be focused on making the game, obviously, and everything that goes into that. And they're also going to have their own bias being the developers, where they're only going to be looking at it a certain way. And it happens in gaming, regardless of indie or not. Like a lot of AAA games, most of the guys who made it don't understand how everything works because they're looking at it from one perspective. And if they do have people coming in, it's a limited pool of people based on who they can afford, based on time constraints and all that stuff. So in pretty much every game that gets released, when the community gets it, they start breaking things wide open, and suddenly you can do this, suddenly you can do that. I was watching a Baldur's Gate 3 video like a few months ago where guys were stacking boxes on top of one another and then using them as like ladders and then like climbing up 40-foot castle walls and sequence breaking. And the dev was on the stream and he was shocked. He didn't even think that was possible. Credit to Larian, their game still worked and still handled that, which is a testament to Larian Studios and all the work they put into BG3, but all that different stuff. Fighting games, sports games, it's always like that. So getting QA testers to test your stuff for free is actually it's insanely useful. When you don't have that, it becomes a mess. Or in the worst case scenario, nobody cares about the game and that's another problem. But yeah, it's been fairly useful. Creoteam also lets us know that it's useful. There aren't a lot of us, but the ones who are there tend to get a lot of thanks. As much as you'd expect, We don't need pats on the head or any of that nonsense, but it's nice to know that your time is actually being appreciated, time you could use doing something else. Honestly, I have stuff I need to do on my house. Just bought a house like half a year ago, and there's work to do. So, time is money, essentially. As you get older, you realize that's truer and truer every day. So you have to start rationing your money like it's your time like it's a service. The time I spend helping out with this could be spent doing something else and all this different stuff. So again, there's a lot of rambling going on. Like I said, I'm going to be apologizing for that a lot. It is just me playing the game. Again, as I said, time is money. I have less and less time to play this game and test it, but I still like to do it occasionally, just because I have the history there with Creoteam, and I do enjoy the game. And it's done fairly well for what it is, and they're also pretty ambitious, I think, given their niche. But again, they understand their niche. They're one of the few devs who understand the niche. They're not going to be the next football manager, but they made this as an alternative. And it's a true alternative. It does a lot of things the football manager doesn't do. It avoids a lot of things that football manager does in terms of busy work and whatnot. It has its own unique spin on the tactical gameplay formula, the tactics game, all that cool stuff. Let's see what else we got. Let's play the game though. Let's get back to talking about the game and not just talking in general. So again, we have the hide formation option checked, and it's an option. You can not use it if you don't want to use it. There were a few other things going on as well. We also have the rule here for club play. If you're familiar with football in the real world, a lot of leagues have a lot of players from various countries. So for example, the MLS, I'm from the USA. The MLS tends to have a lot of foreign countries and a lot of foreign players in the roster. And the number of actual American-born players tend to be fairly low. So you have like a lot of foreign talent. The Premier League is like this. A lot of the European clubs are like this. So, since it's more of it's more of an internationally focused game now, you're going to have a rule in terms of the suitable footballers. Everything you see here is customizable on some level. But I think it defaults to 11. Well, it defaults to 6. And you can make it higher or lower depending on what you want. You can even make it like 0 or something or disable it if you don't want to use it. But the idea is if you want to field the team, you have to have a certain number of national footballers in the starting lineup. So if I'm playing with Scotland, at least six of the players in my lineup have to be from Scotland. It can't be like all foreign players. If I do that, I immediately lose the match because it's not a valid lineup, right? So the idea is you're not just going to load up on the best footballing cultures. I'm not just going to get a bunch of guys from like Brazil or England or something. If I'm a small country or a small nation, if I'm playing in the USA, I'm not going to have a bunch of Europeans in my starting lineup and nothing else. I have to have players of the country's nationality. I like it because with the new footballing culture, it's going to be really easy to what's the word? To make some really really crazy team builds depending on the cultures and the skills and the stuff like that. So it's nice that there's some type of limiting factor where most games like this you can just go crazy. Like I've been playing Unicorn Overlord a lot, which is a it's like a strategy RPG. Essentially, it has a ton of customization in it, and I've had to manually restrict myself on how I customize my squads and stuff because you can get really crazy and break the game wide open. So I feel like this option helps to reel that in. You can go crazy, but you're going to be limited in a lot of different ways. It's also just for the starting lineup, so you can have a lot of foreigners on the bench or in the reserve squad, and then there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to field a certain number of nationals. So it's an interesting idea, and it kind of forces you to interact with that country's ability. The idea that every single country is going to have some ability, some will be shared for the weaker nations, some will be like regional abilities, and then like the more prominent footballing nations will have more unique bonuses and stuff like that. And I wouldn't say any of them are weak, even with the limited pool that we have right now. I would say that they're just different. Like even Scotland's bonus seems weak, but I've been using it a lot, and it can actually be really good given the situation. So again, that's something else about it that I like. Let's see what else we're doing here. We're going to rest some guys a bit because resting players is actually important. I would also love to... Where is he? I'm trying to build up my bench right now, so it's gonna be a lot of back and forth here. Again, early days, you see 0-star players and stuff. Let's actually look at the match here. We're gonna figure out what they're gonna play, and I like looking at it from the bottom level up, because even though I've been playing this for like years at this point, and I've been through the whole process over and over again, the gameplay loop, it is nice to look at it from the bottom going up and kind of give you that full perspective. So they'll have 4 defenders, 2 CDs. Again, I don't know where the CDs are gonna be, which could be an issue. But I'm playing more of a central game this time, so it's not a big problem. They're going to have an RD. Obviously, it's going to be over here somewhere. What else? What else did it tell you? It also kind of tells you where on the field they're playing. The blue is always going to be at the back. The red's always going to be at the front. The yellow is always going to be in the midfield. So if I move him up here, he's suddenly red. If I move him down here, he's yellow. If I move him down there, he's blue. So it's a really good system. It's funny because this is how the game was initially designed, and it's really cool to see how everything links together as Creoteam adds more and more different things. So it's like all of this stuff is hidden. We have the hidden stats and stuff based on your scouting level. If I go to the club and I go to my, where is it? If I go to my scouts, I think, the average level of my scouts is pretty low, so I don't really get a whole lot of information. If I want information, I can spend a one-time glory cost to get it, and then they'll tell me exactly who's who, or I can wait until the match starts. But it's really cool because you can kind of see how all those different systems intertwine. So I know that they have 2 players up front. I know that they're 2 central forwards. I know based on how central forwards act, I know they're going to be in this zone. I know that they have 4 players playing in the midfield area right here, so I can expect 4 different players here. And then I know they have 4 players back here in the blue area. That's really cool. It's really cool to see how it worked out. I think they also prototyped this as a board game initially, like way back when they had like a board game version of this with cards and stuff and dice. So before they even started working on the digital version, they had a prototype. You know, that's like a veteran move. You can kind of tell that they've been in the business for a while before they actually started it. Let's see. Yes, it's not going to be great. 58 accuracy is big. And yeah, like I didn't know what his stats were. I didn't know that he was a two-star player. If I had known that, I probably would have put him over there, but they're both really good, so it wouldn't have made a difference. And, I didn't expect this defensive formation at all, honestly. Like, I didn't think they'd have two CDs back here. I thought they'd have, like, a line of players, which this actually works out well for me now. Because I can actually get the ball into the box if I think about it and play well. Let's see what we're going to do here. So let's see. We're probably going to make a slight change. I'm not sure if I want to make that change, though. I might actually play... Well, I can actually do this. I can make a slight adjustment to take advantage of that. I can also leave him in place and do that. It's up to me, really. I'm not expecting to score. I'm just going to make a slight adjustment here. Just to force a shot now. And I'm going to move guys a little out. Coach is telling them to play a little wider. And you can still make adjustments. This is why I like this option. You're not locked into specific positions, in an actual football game, the coach will kind of tell players to go wide or something. It's more flexible than this. It's not static. You tell them to go wide. The other team's coach will tell them to bring it back, quick sideline instructions. I'm just going to try to get a corner here. Couldn't get it because I knew he wasn't going to score, but got a shot on goal. Let's see what else we got. They're going to hold the ball. There's another interesting thing about this bonus. Once the AI holds the ball, if they keep the ball, you can't block them. So a lot of the time a good tactic is to, well, basically when the AI holds the ball like this in their own half, you get in front of them, you press them, and you force them to either lob the ball or pass it through you. And the defenders tend to have fairly weak passing, so if you have like middling defense, just pressing them is normally enough to make it really hard to get the ball forward. But when they hold the ball in defense, if they keep the ball, you can't stop them from passing it. You have to have really, really high defense to stop them. So it actually changes the game in that sense. Where you can hold the ball, set up the field, and then try to attack again. So he's a CM. I'm probably not going to win the ball, but I'm still going to tackle, maybe foul him, a little bit of dirty play. I was trying to knock him down, but that works. He now has 67 passing because of that bonus. Also remember it's raining, so 67 in the rain is actually pretty solid. And why did I say 82? It's not taking the rain into consideration, maybe. Yeah, they're blowing us up. They are the lead team. I can respect that. I might go for this again. Again, trying to get the corner. At this point, we might just be training here. Might just have to eat the loss. It's not over yet, but it is feeling like that. I'm going to start making a few shifts just to take advantage of this positional experience now. Just a few minor shifts. Let's see. By doing that, I'm going to put him up there. And then, our control is actually pretty solid. We might actually be able to score here. Possibly. That's worth a try, I think. Oh, well, that's a good choice. Yeah. I could try to cross it. It's a gamble, but that's probably our best chance. Yeah, his passing's not good enough, unfortunately. Yeah, the AI is pretty good about adapting to the situation. They blocked from the front because they figured they weren't going to win. That's smart, keeping the ball. I'm trying to take advantage of them keeping the ball now. Trying to get some dirty play in, maybe injure a guy and force him to switch things up. All right, so we're going to need to make a change. Let's see. We do have options, though. We definitely have options. Is he an AM yet? Not yet. Okay, so don't take him out yet. Might actually make an adjustment here. Kelman, we're gonna take Kelman out. 10. 10's not great. I would love to take out Kelman and bring in Callowwood. I can also bring him in, but he's not very solid. We're gonna make that change here. We gotta mix it up now. Things aren't going our way. Let's see, Callowwood. This might work. I'm gonna try to take advantage of Scotland's bonus now. We might have a chance. Let's see. Hmm. Maybe not. Yeah, it is pretty far. We might be able to get a single goal, but I don't think we'll be able to get two. Yeah, they're gonna do that. Smart, very smart. Solid. Yeah. Okay, well. And now I want to see if I can slow him down. Okay, they're just going from behind. There's the injury. That's okay. That's why you have a deep bench. 5 months is a long time, though. But it is raining and it's from behind. What are they gonna do now? Ooh, okay. He might be able to get the ball forward. Let's do that. Let's also do that. I'm gonna have to lob it. Yeah, I figured. I can take the shot, but I don't know. I feel like that's a better play. At this point, I'm just playing for a single goal. I don't think I can come back. Not enough time if I'm trying to make the best possible plays. Let me think. Ah, the CM is not great. Maybe get fouled here. Hmm. He's not a D though. Oh, they're gonna block the spot. Okay. Yeah, well, they did the next best thing, honestly. They're trying to prevent me from getting the shot off. See, he would have blocked it. Let's see if we can keep the game going. Yeah, that's good. Now we're just playing for experience, which is also a strategy you can use. Who's Lang? I'd like to make Lang that. Also, we have more substitutions. I forgot to mention that. It's just an aside. I'm not really that focused on it. Again, I'm just playing here. You have the standard five substitution that's what you call it. That's effectively how the real world works. Let's see what else we got. We can go for the attacking midfielder. There are different ways to attack here. It's not over yet. I can still potentially get a goal, which is a nice little consolation prize. I can also try to farm what do you call it? Farm specialization points if I can keep this going. It's a direct shot on goal because he kept his spot. We'll see if we can get another one. You know, every time they do all of that, they get specialization points, which is useful for obvious reasons. I might actually make a sub here just to mix it up a little bit. Let's see. Let's get these guys some experience too. Get the left midfielder. This is a really solid way to just bang at the door. It's kind of like brute forcing it. because essentially it's just a one-on-one with you and the goalkeeper. Now I can't remember if I'm using what do you call it? That rule that gives them a floor to their rolls. So based on their giftedness, they can only roll so low. I might be using it. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's expected plus. Now where the giftedness level actually changes the floor of the roll. It's still a solid way to try to brute force it. The 71 is really high. I'd have to do a precision shot. I don't want to do it. Yeah, they're gonna give it to me over and over again now. All right, that works. Now we just refuse to die, essentially. I'll take it. Only problem is he's a DF. I'd love to get the D's involved. A lot of corner kicks, though. I really like this tactic because if you have like an offensive-minded AM and they get a clear shot like this, it's essentially like them being in the box, more or less. Because they get that reduced penalty for shooting from outside the box. Yeah, I think it's finally over. He shut it down. Good job, boys. All right, I might play until 1 o'clock, which is about 15 minutes, I think, give or take. Might do that. And I gotta take care of some adult stuff. Nice. I like AMs. I know most people don't use them, but most people don't do a lot of things. That's the thing about games like this. You can't really follow the crowd. You have to understand how the game works. Like there are a lot of things that most people don't even know about. I used to have a series where I was trying to teach people, but it got kind of frustrating. It's like trying to give a horse to what was it? Water to a dying man in the desert who just wouldn't drink. I just left it. Even teaching stuff is a position. It's something people pay for. And obviously it's a small game nobody really knows about, but still it's time. You have to consider whether or not it's worth your time. Yeah, but there are a lot of different things in this game that just go unknown. But yeah, AMs are one of the really good positions. Like they're not very mobile, but they have a lot of really good skills. I think most people only think about the false kick, which is really good in itself because it pulls apart defenses really well. But their shooting potential is really crazy because they can shoot outside of the box and their penalty is really low. So it's almost like they're shooting from in front of goal. And then they have the ability to just pass through defenders like they're not there. A 60% penalty on interceptions is a lot. Like that's a ridiculous number. If you can do like a playmaking attacking midfielder who focuses on passing, maybe he has some control. Although where he plays, control might not be the best unless he plays on like the deep midfield or something near the center. It's either passing or striking, I think. And then you can give them an ability that focuses on that position. Like layoff pass is probably the easiest ability to figure out for them because you get to move guys into position for free actions. The next ability would probably be cannon shot because it can move defenders out of the central lane. Other than that, it would probably be something like intercept, honestly. They're in a good position to block counterattacks, surprisingly, which is why he's learning intercept and not something else. And then nutmeg is also good for them. Most people don't use nutmeg. Nutmeg's a really strong skill. It's just really tough to use in the center of the field. But nutmeg is good for them as well. Like if I have nutmeg, let me see if I can set up the board here. Like I can nutmeg from here. I can put an AM here. He's an AM. AMs can play all the way back here, which is near the center of the field. I can bring a defender forward to this square or something. Or this might even be the DM square, and I can just go right there. And then maybe they have a CD, maybe not. If I've invested in control, if I have like what do you call it? Like accuracy and control as my focus, I get plus 50% to my control. And then I may even keep the ball. I can even pull someone out of position and then, that CD's not there or something. So there are options, there are things you can do. Oh no, it's gonna crash, isn't it? No? Okay. Oh, they fixed that bug. Nice. That's a bug from long ago. Good job, guys. Now dog is crying downstairs. She hears me talking and she's like, "Oh, why are you talking up there? I'm not up there." She's a sweet dog. She's just it's a separation anxiety. She deals with that more than anything else. Like my brother's dog, I'm babysitting it or dog sitting it, I guess, and she's always had that problem. And she hears you talking for whatever reason, she's like, "Oh, I want to be a part of it too. What's going on?" Dogs. Yeah, but I'll do all that stuff. Take her for a walk around the block. It hasn't started raining yet, so why not? That'd be a good time to do it. And I don't think a bunch of people are out and about, so she won't get to the business. Always curious. When people are around, she goes crazy. Can be kind of annoying. Anyway, let's do maybe one more game because these games have been taking a while. That's streaming, man. It's never a focus on the game. But yeah, they have five defenders. Mm, they have one-star players at least. I can also look at the team's history. There's so many ways to gather information, it's crazy. I can look at the team's history if I go to the club. If I literally go to the club, if I remember how to do it. I can go to the table, whatever. I can go to the club, I can look at the team, I can look at their history, and that can kind of give me an idea of how strong they are. They were in the third league last year, so they can't be that good. If I compare them to someone like the top team, they were in the second league last year, so they're going to be really good. So even though I can't see their information, I have a good idea of how strong they are. Plus I have the star ratings here, the average right here. So I know they're going to have a decent number of one-star players as well. Yeah, they have that forward. So I need to worry about him, although he's also really good. I'm trying to get that second CD. Like this is kind of a situation where I need that DM, but the idea is to kind of press them high to maybe stop them from getting that initial first attack. It's always going to be the trickiest part of this, is stopping the first attack, which is where the CDs come in, and then if the CDs don't work, the DF is a stopgap measure. If I feel like I really need more help, I can probably play like another DF right here or something. And then I get that increased block chance, but we'll see. And in that case, I would take out the DM. But we'll see. I do like this formation a lot. It basically kills long pass as an option because they can't long pass into the box if you don't have someone in the box. It's offside. Really easy way to stop that tactic. Generally, I force them to play the ball forward, and they have to deal with the midfield at that point. Let's see what else we got. He's my only CD, which is a problem. I don't think I'll be doing a fullback. They have one CD. Trying to figure out where he is. Might actually play the RF here as well. He's probably going to be an attacking winger. Looks like it. Accuracy. He also has defense, which is okay for a winger. Let's see what else we got. And I'm probably going to train some guys up here. Probably going to be the last match because someone's really annoyed down there. Let's see, we got AM. As a passing AM, so I might want Lindsay. Lindsay might be the guy this time. But Lindsay's also tired. We do get the ball first, though. So maybe I won't play Lindsay immediately. Maybe we'll do McClafferty. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. And I might be able to keep the ball here. They do have a CM though. And they do have an RM, so it's going to be over here. So I probably want to at least do that. All right, let's make this the last match. Ooh. Oh, they don't have the CD there. He's in the box. Okay. But what am I gonna do here? Am I gonna shoot? I mean, shooting's not a good idea. And they have that 54 defender. 10 versus 29. It's not great. I could try to hold it, but that's not gonna be a great hold. I can just force my way into the box. He's in the box now, that's fine. What else they got? Oh, they have an MF? Huh. That wasn't a good choice. A bad choice. They do have a CM though, but I have an AM. They have a CF. They have him though. I'm gonna pass it off. But then they have an RM. They have a lot of free pressing classes. They have a lot. That makes it really hard to keep the ball. That's probably gonna run with it. Ooh, let's see. No, he had good accuracy. I need to stop him. Hmm. Thinking about it, he has 37 accuracy. Will I win the ball? What happens if I don't win the ball? Oh, I gotta start thinking about it. He's probably gonna try to run in. Hmm. Oh, well. I just gave them that pass. I just did that. Offside. Offside trap gone. We got lucky. Yeah, you can't cover everything, unfortunately. See if I can get a foul here. Maybe he'll run up and foul me. No. Maybe you'll foul me? There we go, thank you. Very nice. Yeah, we got lucky back there. Yeah, AM. Minus 60% bonus. Shrewd passes. Yeah, it's just such a ridiculous penalty. Like, even at this low level, like, as the levels get higher, it just gets worse and worse. A guy will have like 100 defense and suddenly he has 40 defense or something against a high passing attacking midfielder. It gets pretty silly sometimes. And then I can actually take a solid shot on goal based on everybody's control. I'm probably just gonna power shot and try to get that in the worst case scenario. Because now I can probably get a better shot on goal. Let me see. We'll probably pass with you. And then let's see, we'll put you on the shot. They don't have a DF over here, which is a big deal. And we'll probably use, let me see. I need a CD, so I'm probably not going to do McRob, even though McRob would give me the better opportunity to score. Yeah, 21 is their highest. Let's go Henderson. Yeah, Henderson should be good against everyone except him, McCarthy. Oh yeah, McCarthy did it. Yeah. Unfortunate. I can try to take the shot, but I don't know. Yeah, at least it got to the goalkeeper. That's something. All right, last half. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. We're gonna play 44. I'm gonna make that swap. They have a CM. Ooh, I wonder. Would they try to run it down? It might. I can also do this. Let me see. I can also play him back there, which is why I have this formation in the first place. Try to force them to pass it through. He's gonna need to take a break. We're gonna bring in Lindsay. Ooh, that AM is solid though. I don't want to get rid of him. But I do need someone blocking this. That's the problem. I can still keep it spread out, sure. Probably go, let's see, Patterson. Just so I have that option to play it forward. And then I'm really just playing it through here anyway. Kind of want them to go over here. They might just take the straight shot though. I will find out. Roll the dice and find out, right? Yeah, they're gonna try it. Yep. Hmm. That's what we're gonna do here. Trying to figure it out. I can try that, but they have the fullback. It's gonna make it tough. Fullback also has a really good control. So I'm gonna try to shut him down. Force him to pass it back. Oh, he's gonna do that. Okay, that works. Not bad. That DF had a chance, so. Yep. Good job, DF. They don't have a, what do you call it? They don't have, they have an RM over there, though. They also have a CM. It'll be tough. Yeah, that CM ruins everything. Hmm. Can't keep the ball because they're going to give it to him. 17, he have 18. Let's do it. If we can keep the ball, we have a really good chance. Ah, that's beautiful, actually. Oh, AM's out. He did keep the ball, though. Good job, good job. Give that man a raise. Oh, look, that's a second yellow card. Nice. Problem is I don't have another AM. Do I have another good passing player? No, I don't. Hmm. I could somehow lob it into the box. I could also just take the shot from there. Hmm. I can take it from the wing, I guess. I mean, I can go for a wing shot. Hmm. That's a tough one. Nah. It's a direct on target shot though. So I might be able to get a corner kick. Also, I just realized they're from the Netherlands, so they're getting that goalkeeper bonus. I didn't even notice that. It's not a huge bonus right now. Oh, he got the teammate removed penalty. It's still good though. That means he only gets the what do you call it? Huh. Netherlands bonus. Ah, everyone except the goalkeeper. Sorry. Right. A lot of these bonuses are only for outfield players. Right. If he wasn't a goalkeeper, he'd get the bonus. All right, understood. So he'd be getting what, 80%? So with the reduction, it would only be 65, which is still amazing. Yeah. Netherlands goalkeeper is a bit of a waste. That's all right, we'll take it. We'll absolutely take that. That was basically the coach telling everybody to move up. That's what's going on here. Last chance strike. See what we got. We might be able to score. They have a DF over there. Huh. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot harder. Hmm. That DF is gonna mess everything up, honestly. Yeah, that DF is gonna ruin everything. Like one good DF will screw you over. But let's see what else I can do. Let's see. Probably Henderson. Yeah, I really need a younger CD. I might just take that shot. Yeah. Oh, they shut me down anyway. These guys. And he has good control. Well, Henderson got the ball back. Another benefit of bringing the defender up on a corner kick. Good play though. They just shut down my ability to shoot. I respect it. Anyway, I think that's enough for now. Dog is crying, and I need to do two errands. I'll probably come back and play something else. In terms of streaming, I'll probably just stream to stream. Like I'm not doing a whole lot of production or anything. Because at the end of the day, it's not really worth my time. I enjoy playing the game, but I don't really enjoy putting the stuff together. But I'll probably stream different things. I felt like doing this just to get it out there. And I've been doing Unicorn Overlord on and off. I might do like anything because it ultimately it doesn't really impact me that much. It slows me down a lot, obviously. Like I've probably spent more time talking than I've spent actually playing the games. That's just the nature of streaming unless you're just gonna turn the mic off. But I'll probably just stream just to stream, honestly. Is there a schedule? Uh Not really. I would have to get feedback from people saying they want more constant videos or something. It's gonna be when I feel like streaming. Probably on the weekends, maybe every other weeknight. It's generally like a certain type of game, something I don't have to spend too much attention focusing on completely. Feel like I'd play like probably not Civ. I tried Civ, but it slows me down way too much. Probably something like this, maybe an oxygen not included, maybe an RPG or something. No action games or anything like that, because again, take up too much of my time, too much of my mental stack, really, to really focus on the channel itself. But yeah, someone's getting really upset down there, so I need to take care of this. Yeah, dogs are like children, man. Only they're children that can get away with a lot of stuff that actual children couldn't do because they're dogs. Anyway, I'm out of here.